this is not easy.
Implementing lean cultures in warehouse environments. Well, joining us to speak about that is Brad Bossence, Vice President, Customer Relations at LeanCor. Brad, welcome.
Thank you, Russell.
Brad, you know, we hear an awful lot about lean as it relates to production, but of course lean has entered into the warehouse. So talk to us about that. Why has it done that, and what's going on with lean initiatives in warehousing?
It's a good question, Russell. I think first of all, it's important to understand why we actually need warehouses. So due to the long, lengthy lead times that we're seeing now with production moving overseas to China and other countries, fact is we need to have buffers of stock either before production or after production so that we can be close to our customers. Okay. So with that said, lean is about eliminating waste in the manufacturing environment, but can also be applied to warehousing environments as it relates to material flow. So if you look at what lean has done in manufacturing environments, it's provided visual workplace, standard work, 5S, and a lot of tools that we've learned through the years with production. And certainly where lean really came from was what we learned from the Toyota production system. So the challenge now is to apply what we've learned from the Toyota production system to actual warehouses to make sure that we're eliminating waste, we're satisfying customers at the lowest possible cost, and showing respect to people. So that last piece about showing respect to people is really what lean to me is all about, is involving and engaging all team members from top to bottom of the organization, but also involving the customer and doing what we can to make sure we're doing what's right and what's value add and only value add for the customer.
You know, if you come to me and you say, I'm interested in trying to convince you in implementing the system that I'm talking about, if my question to you is, well, how can you ensure success with this kind of initiative in my warehousing environment, what are you going to tell me?
I think it's important to first understand that this is not easy. It's not easy to implement any cultural change, and we need to embrace the fact that that's exactly what we're doing here. We're changing the way we think about how we approach our work. So if I were to come to you and say, well, here's some new projects we're going to implement. They're going to deliver cost savings, but new projects, and you're a team member on the floor. You're probably going to say, well, you know what, Brad, I already have a lot of work to do. I'm busy. How am I going to pile all this extra work on top of my plate? But what the thinking is that if we eliminate some of those non-value added activities that we're doing, for example, looking for a trailer inside of a trailer yard that we already know is there, rework and going through the 8 wastes that we actually see in warehouse environments as well, the idea is that we can actually add valuable tasks to our plates. So at the end of the day, what we see in warehouse environments typically is that they don't have a plan, which is the basic P in plan, do, check, adjust, which is the Deming cycle that we've learned certainly through Deming and through Toyota and through lean implementations. That with a plan, we can actually find improvements, but we have to start out with a plan. Now what we've learned with some of the tools, for example 5S, and a lot of times I will hear, and I've heard over this week, is that, you know, hey, we want to implement 5S, we want to be lean, we want to implement 5S. The 5S is only a tool. It's the thinking behind 5S is what allows us to sustain 5S, which is a plan for everything, a place for everything, and everything in its place. So with that being the case, if I come to a warehouse environment and I see that the warehouse has a 5S system in place, I can immediately see if there's a problem, for example, if something isn't in its place. But once again, it's just a tool. So we need to understand as environments that, first of all, it's not easy. We're going to go through that period of what we call the valley of despair, where we're doing old systems and new systems, and we just need to focus on the future, understand what our roadmap is, where we're going. Everybody's engaged. We're checking every single day, and we're celebrating those successes along the way.
Well, now you mentioned success. I'm still wearing my potential customer hat. So my question to you is, well, give an example of one of these successes that you're talking about. What are you going to tell me?
Well, I think the best success is definitely Toyota. If you were to compare Toyota to any other company, and especially companies today that are trying to establish a lean culture, typically companies want to come out and develop a continuous improvement group. The fact is that Toyota doesn't have a continuous improvement group that comes and fixes problems for operations managers. It's embedded in the culture. Team members on the floor understand what their role is, and that's to solve problems every single day. You see, the difference between a traditional company and a lean company today is that a lean company embraces problems. They're a problem-solving culture. And that's really hard to grasp, and it takes a while to really understand this, but the fact is a problem is an opportunity, and we improve and we fix that opportunity, we see and we learn as a group, and we actually got better from tomorrow. And that's the continuous cycle: solve problems, learn together, and execute the next day's problems.
Obstacles. I hate to continue on a negative path, but let's just discuss this for a moment. What are the obstacles to a successful implementation of a lean initiative in my warehousing environment?
The biggest obstacle, Russell, I believe, is that we need to understand that this is a cultural change. A lean is a culture of problem solving. So in order to embrace this within the culture, if we train a few people to be lean experts within the company, it's not going to get the job done every single day. I like to look at lean as a communication bridge between people on the floor right to the executive, that we all speak in the same language, we're all using the same standard tools, but we all understand why we're doing what we're doing. Rather than wait for somebody from head office or some other department to come and fix the problems that are in front of the team member every single day, and they understand the work, they deal with it every day, allow them to make those changes, allow them to make those improvements, allow them to be part of those successes, and that's the culture that we're trying to build. See, once again, lean isn't about the tools, it's about the thinking behind the tools. Like, why are we doing this? And that constancy of purpose of eliminating waste and only doing those things that are value add, being able to understand what those are. It's important that everybody in the operation understands what those things are. And this isn't complicated. We're not teaching algorithms and crazy math. We're just teaching the very basic things. But we must stay focused on those things, and once again, we need to celebrate when we do make improvements.
Well, what I'm hearing is that this is not just executive buy-in. I mean, you need that, but it's more than just top down. It's bottom up. Everybody is in this together, all in together. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, absolutely, and very well said. You know, a lot of times failure happens because executives aren't bought in, but just the same amount, if team members aren't bought into what we're trying to accomplish either, it's not going to work. What I see as working very successfully is constant, what we call is preparing our people, constant training, and this doesn't need to be in a classroom environment, but workshop-based, a floor-based, or going to the gemba, as we say, or going to the place where the work is being done. I mean, this is where leaders and team members should be connecting, looking at the same problem, seeing as a group, knowing as a group, and then acting together on whatever we need to do. Often we see decisions are made in boardrooms about standard work within, on the floor of warehouses, but it couldn't be farther from the wrong place to be doing these things.
Mm-hmm. Highly useful information, very, very hopeful going forward. Brad, I know you're busy here, but you found time to speak with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Russell.
Well, it's Brad Bossence, Lean Core, and speaking with us about lean initiatives in the warehousing environment. Thank you for watching.